Hey everyone, welcome to the second lesson of the course. Now we are on Illustrator and please open your Cinema 4D. Now remember that this is what we are going to do, this jelly text on Cinema 4D. You can see that it looks really cool. Now, as I said on the previous lesson, we're going to be creating this with splines, which are path on Cinema 4D. Now, on Illustrator, I have this file that, of course, I'm going to share with you because I don't want you to have to do this again. You can see that this is a simple path. I created this path using the pen tool on Illustrator, and I created this sort of text, of classic text on Illustrator. You can see that it's not looking so good on Illustrator. You can see that it has a lot of sharp points. It's not so well made, but don't worry about it because on Cinema 4D we're going to disguise all these little mistakes that these splines have. So don't worry about this. Now you will find on the course attachments, you will find this Illustrator file. It's called Spline, pretty obvious. And now let's go to Cinema 4D and go to File, click on Merge, and you're going to select the Spline Illustrator file, click on Open, and remember, let's leave the scale on 1, and you can keep the group splines checked, and don't forget that connect splines must be unchecked. Now click OK, and you will have our text. Now you can just rotate your view and bring this a little bit higher. Okay, just like this. Now you can see that we have the spline. Now we have a lot of things going on here with this path. We have the main path, which is these ones, and we have the exclamation sign and the little dots of the J and the exclamation. So what I'm going to do is to turn these 4 objects into one single path. To do that, just select them all, right click, and you can click on Connect Objects and Delete. Now you will have only one path. You can ungroup this and let's call this. And you can rename this if you want. You can call this jelly text spline, and now we are all set. Now if we take a look at our video, you can see that the splines right now on Cinema 4D, they are all in one simple dimension. You can see that it's really flat. It's completely flat. It doesn't have any volume. But when we see the video, you can see that we have some things a little forward, some things go to the back. For example, this goes like this and then goes to the back and then goes to the back again, and then it goes forward, then back again, and so on, so that it looks really 3D, the text. So if we want to make that, let's jump to Cinema 4D and let's take the spline, and with this pen tool you can click on anywhere here on the text spline, and you will find that we, instead of having just a white line, we have all the anchor points from Illustrator. You can check, and it's the same anchor points that we have here on Illustrator. So this is what we're going to use to create the depth. So it's really simple. Let's take a look here. And for example, now it's completely flat. But if we take, for example, this little guy here, this little anchor point from the J, now we can move this with the move tool, and let's move this on the Z axis a little back, and now you can see that we have some depth here on Cinema 4D. So that's what we are going to use to create this effect right here. So this can be a little more to the back. Try not to go crazy and do this, just a little bit to the back, not so much. Now let's repeat the same process for a lot of path here. For example, on the E, you can take this little anchor point and bring it to the back. Remember, don't go crazy and go all the way, just a little bit so that we have some depth in the end. Okay, you can also take a look at this view, the right view, but I don't think it's necessary. Now for the L, you can take this to the back also, like this, and this point here in the middle of the two L's can go back too. So you can see that we are creating a very nice spline. It's like neon lights or something. Okay, now this point is a little bit more tricky. This point here, instead of going to the back, it's going to be to the front, because we want to be as real as possible. You can see the lines going this way and then goes to the back, goes to the front, goes to the front again, and here it goes to the front again. So this should be on front, and this should be on the back, like this. Alright, so now we have nice splines. You can see that it looks a little bit crazy right now, but when we add the shape to this spline, it's going to look really nice. So that's it for importing the spline and fixing it here on Cinema 4D. It's quite simple, as you can see. Now let's go to the next lesson.